Hi there, I'm Scott Lowe.
And hi, I'm Lowe Vanover, and we're happy to present this live video blog from VMworld 2012 in San Francisco.
And we're here today to talk about the death of the VRAM VTAX.
That's a big improvement for VMware customers worldwide. It wasn't really well received, yet VMware had listened to the customer base and have switched the model back to the CPU socket model. And Scott, I think that's a really big step.
I do too. I think that when you heard the applause on the show floor when it was announced that the VRAM tax was going away, that was pretty much all the confirmation that VMware actually needed to really understand that they made a big mistake when they implemented VTAX or VRAM last year, which a lot of people took to calling the VTAX.
Yeah, it might have had a street name of VTAX, but this is definitely a textbook example of, pricing is important, regardless of the technology. The customer has a voice. And the VRAM idea, by way of comparison, isn't new to the end user space. And Scott, a lot of people don't know this, but this was actually offered in the hosting space for a long time.
Absolutely, and they brought it to the consumer space, and it was incredibly poorly received and really overshadowed a lot of the great improvements that came with vSphere 5, unfortunately. It was really one of the more talked about items that came with vSphere 5, and not in a positive way.
Right. I mean, the technology is so rich in terms of a virtualization platform. It's the one to beat. It has it going on, and taking away the VRAM feature, I'm not complaining.
I'm not either. And also I think this was partially in response to the coming threat from Microsoft. Microsoft is not charging for basically a monster VM, and what we were seeing was Microsoft using the VRAM as a huge bludgeoning tool from a marketing perspective on VMware.
Oh, sure. Poor reception of a feature or a business model is definite leverage on a competitive situation. But, in my professional experience, right, competition makes these technologies perform better. And, both platforms are a great place to run. VMware has the advantage by being on the fifth iteration of a major platform of a virtualization and larger platform engine in terms of application structures and stuff like that. So I'm really really optimistic of what this is going to do for vSphere 5.1 and or 5.1, sorry, and the other features that are going to come with it. And competitively, Windows Server 2012 is right around the corner, so I don't think we're done yet with the discussion.
I don't either. In fact, if you talk to some folks, they think that maybe VMware has done some permanent damage to themselves with the VRAM. It basically opened the door to people thinking about other hypervisors. What do you think of that? I mean, it may not necessarily translate into people just jumping ship right away, but the mind share for VMware took sort of a hit. With that. Do you think that's true?
I wouldn't call it a hit, but I think, virtualization is a gateway technology to a larger cloud infrastructure, and we're not even close to started, I think. Some of the numbers barely put all workloads at 50% virtual, and you look at some segments, like the smallest segments, they might not have even started. So the long run, I think there's room for both. And I think the net result is that the end user, the customers, are going to get more features from the, that back and forth nature of the competitive nature of this type of technology as a race to the, first in line for a feature just makes it better for the end users because it's going to really push both the VMware and Microsoft communities to really deliver the features and steer the market.
Yeah, I think this is definitely an example of where Coexistence, competition is really lifting all ships. It's making VMware really be even more nimble than they already were. It's making Microsoft make sure that they're delivering a great feature set, and it's good for companies like Veeam. As you guys move to support both platforms and make sure that businesses can keep running their critical workloads.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also another realm that's taking advantage of these two growing and maturing ecosystems is the storage industry, right? Storage is not the same as it was 5 or 10 years ago.
No.
And in a way, it's long overdue that storage is really ready for virtualization, bringing in features at a rate that, historically storage has been a very speeds and feeds only.
Right.
Now the software that drives storage, it really is an enabler, again, to this platform that vSphere and Hyper-V bring that, I think, again, in the end, it makes the infrastructures that, IT pros and end users have to deal with, it makes them run a lot better.
You mentioned storage. If you walked around the show floor here at all, every other booth is a storage vendor. And I actually interviewed probably 8 storage vendors while I was here. And Flash, last year, was being discussed as, why would I need Flash? What is Flash? I don't know why I would, This year, it's, how do I get it?
Yeah.
And you see a lot of companies, there's really three basic approaches they're taking, and you see them all represented here. Server-side flash, hybrid storage, where you have flash and rotational storage in the same box, and then your pure flash plays.
Or tiering solutions, right?
Or tiering solutions.
That blend between rotational and non-rotational storage.
Exactly.
Right?
But like people like Tejal that won Best of VMworld runner-up this year. And they've got, these companies have a great play. There's a huge future for flash.
Yep.
So I think it was a great show. I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
Well, it was a long haul for me. A lot of work, a couple speaking sessions, a lot of professional responsibilities. But I think that the vSphere and Hyper-V communities are rich. The technologies are going to keep coming, and I think it's great to cover and then watch from afar.
I agree. Thanks, Rick. It was great seeing you.
Yeah.
And hopefully all of you will find some great value in what you found at VMworld if you attended as well. Thank you very much.